Welcome to Guardian Tactical. Today we're going to be discussing buying your first pistol. Before you, I've got a few options to help us demonstrate pros and cons and why you may choose a particular model over another. All the options you see before you are all chambered in 9mm, which is a great round for any level of experience, but especially for a new shooter. Starting over here, we have the SIG P365 X Macro, uh, the Glock 47 Gen 5, H&K P30L V1, and the Staccato P. These are all phenomenal firearms and great choices that you would absolutely enjoy. However, each of them serve a different purpose and can also be used for multiple purposes. However, for the purposes of this video, we're going to be talking about their most known roles. So for the P365X Macro, this is meant to be a EDC or everyday carry concealed option uh, firearm. It is a rather small firearm. However, as you can see here, it has this aluminum backstrap from Radian. This helped increase the swell so guys with bigger hands can get a better purchase on the firearm and still utilize a compact option for their EDC. It is a very reliable, it's very inexpensive compared to other options, and for the money you spend, you get performance, reliability, and comfort shooting it. It's quite pleasant to shoot. A lot of people don't typically train with their concealed carry because they don't like the way it shoots. And so they aren't proficient with that firearm, which is a shame to not train with the firearm that you're going to carry and trust your life with every day. Over here, a little bit more recognizable, is the Glock 47 Gen 5. Now, this is meant to be a full-sized duty weapon or home defense weapon. Um, some people can carry a full-size weapon concealed, appendix, in a backpack, under a large coat. It is an option, but typically, if you're going for a firearm this size, you're either wanting something reliable for duty, you're wanting to keep it for home defense, go hunting, um, or just train and shoot. And a stock Glock will absolutely do this. Now, this is not a stock Glock, but um, it is still a phenomenal option for you. Now, over here, we're going to get into something a little bit more rare. So, this is a HK P30L V1. The V1 was the law enforcement variation of the P30L, which means that you get a consistent trigger pull if there's a round chambered in the pistol. Because as you can see here, it has a hammer. And typically that means that if it's a double action, that first trigger pull is roughly double what the trigger pull will be after you squeeze that first round off. With the V1, they mitigate that. So you get the reliability of a hammer fired, but instead of having that very difficult trigger pull on that first one, when you actually rack a round into it, you actually get a lot lighter. And you get that consistent draw uh, trigger pull with every round, and not unlike the Beretta 92 or the M9, where you would that first trigger pull is 10 pounds, and then you try to follow it up on a double tap, and you ended up throwing that second round because your trigger anticipation is way off. Lastly, we have a Staccato P. Now, Staccato makes a phenomenal product. This one is a very expensive compared to the rest of these, but the Staccato P is meant for duty. However, a lot of people have converted this to a competition pistol, whether it's Terran Tactical, Vulcan, Machine Works. You can turn this into a competition pistol. And 2011s are phenomenal choices for that. Smooth action, great trigger pull, the weight of it, all of it's a great option. So if you're just looking to go and shoot in a competition, Staccato P would be a great option, and it is on the lower end of staccatos. Um, that being said, you can do just about everything this with all of these guns. Difference is going to be is depending on you. So for a bigger guy like myself, I need a big grip. I like to be able to feel the full my hand feel. I'll get across the entire frame of the firearm so that I feel I have complete purchase and control of it. So instead of going for a micro-sized pistol like the Kimber or a Glock 26 or something with a very small frame and grip, I go with something with closer to a full size. Because I'm a bigger guy, I can hide a lot more firearm on me. But carrying large frame firearms leads to printing, leads to other issues. They're heavy. After concealed carrying a full size firearm all day, you're going to be tired and sore. Carrying it off your in a holster on a duty belt is very taxing. So you want to take those things into consideration. A smaller pistol that you can shoot comfortably, that would be a far better option than the Staccato P. Staccato P, phenomenal firearm in its own right, but you're going to be sacrificing your endurance, your comfort. You know, you're going to stop carrying because it's so miserable to conceal carry every single day. So you got to ask yourself, why do you want it? If I have led a lot of people and helped them choose their first firearm, and usually it's, hey, I've never gotten to, I've never bought one. I'm curious about it, not sure what to do. I want it to, start training, maybe do some concealed carry, and just kind of explore what the firearms industry world has to offer. And so for them, I typically point them towards something a little bit more common. That's something that's easy for them to find accessories for, something that's budget friendly. So I'd go with a Sig P365, one of the models. Depending on that person, I may recommend the standard model all the way up to the X Macro. Or I may go with a Glock 19, which has a smaller frame on it, as well as a smaller slide. Uh, just depending on that person. And it also depends on their budget. If they're willing to spend a little bit more money to get a little bit more performance and reliability, then I'll point them to something maybe like the P30 SK or the VP9 SK or even a Staccato C. But when it's all said and done, if you're going to conceal carry, Sig and Glock are by far some of the best choices that you can look at. They have the name brand recognition, they have years of reliability and track record to earn your trust and faith in them, because at the end of the day, if you're going to conceal carry, the most important thing is that firearm goes off when you need it to, not before, and certainly not after. So you want something that will always do that for you, and that it's easy to use. You don't have to learn the nuances of, uh, you know, a single action trigger, a double action trigger. You just have striker fire, which just means you just squeeze the trigger. Um, and then just go from there, build from there, train, shoot. Uh, you're going to do yourself a huge disservice if you don't just go shoot. So when you go to find your firearm, go to a range that lets you rent. Try different options. A lot of the shops around where I live, you just pay one time rental fee and a box of ammo for the day, and they'll let you just grab whatever firearm off the wall that they have for rent and let you go shoot. They also have guys in there that'll help you choose and learn how to hold and shoot so that you can do your homework. Don't just go to the store and buy the first thing you see because you saw it on John Wick or because you watch a little bit too much of The Rookie. Do your homework and then go purchase the firearm. You want to make sure the firearm fits comfortably in your hand. You want to make sure that you can operate it and that you can find whatever you need for it. If you need a concealed carry pistol, well, make sure you can find a concealed carry holster. Make sure that you can find everything you want for it while you're uh, while you're shopping. Because I've done it before where I've bought a pistol and it's like this is a great option, and then I couldn't find any holsters for it, and kind of defeated the purpose of what I bought it for. Same with duty. Glock, of course, is a staple in law enforcement and armed security and the military. HK as well, and staccato. These three options are all duty options. Now you can, of course, turn a Glock into a competition pistol. Same with the staccato. The HK, I haven't seen any evidence of it yet, but you know, it was John Wick's first option in the first movie, so I'll let that speak for itself. Now, that's all I'm going to talk about today, but I greatly appreciate y'all tuning in. And in the future, we'll be discussing and breaking down each of these pistols deeper. And if there's anything you want to see, please leave a comment below. I'm here for you, and I really appreciate y'all's time. Thank you.